Permission to proceed?
You may.
Dr. McCoy, could you please introduce yourself to the court?
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. McCoy.
Dr. McCoy, what do you do for a living?
Currently, I am a visiting professor of ethology at Columbia University, where I teach doctoral candidates. The university also facilitates my research in the emotional intelligence and altruistic tendencies of primates.
Would you mind telling the jury a little bit about your educational background?
Not at all. I received my bachelor's in biomedical engineering at the Georgia Institute of Technology in 2001, and in 2004, I received my master's in both ethology and zoology at the University of California, Davis, and I received my doctorate in primatology in 2011.
Doctor, have you had any scientific articles published prior to today's case?
Yes, I have been published 22 times in scientific peer-reviewed articles, many of which strongly relate to today's case.
Doctor, do you have a conclusion in today's case?
Yes, I do.
Now, what facts and data did you use when formulating this conclusion?
I used the standards in my field. I reviewed the depositions, the affidavits, and A.J. McCoy, Jamison Clark, and the depositions of Danny Kozak and Alex Grace, as well as multiple exhibits, and I also reviewed Dr. Hawkins' report as well.
And were these facts and data sufficient in when creating your conclusion?
Yes, they were. It was enough for me to confidently state my conclusion.
Objection, Your Honor. I believe under Rule 702C that the defense has not laid proper foundation for the reliable principles and methods used in today's case.
Your Honor, we were right about to get there. There's been no conclusion elicited. My next question was, what principles and methods did you use in preparing your conclusion in today's case?
I will allow the defense to lay a foundation, and you can really no objection if you believe it is insufficient.
Now, Doctor, what principles and methods did you use when formulating your conclusion in today's case?
I read the standards in my fields. I read the affidavits, the depositions, as well as multiple exhibits, the usage of outside material, my own personal experience, and I accumulated this all into one report, which I present now in my trial testimony.
And did you reliably use the facts and data in today's case when creating your conclusion?
Yes, I guess I did.
Doctor, what exactly is your conclusion in today's case?
Your Honor, I would like to renew my objection at this time. If I may explain.
Yes.
We've already established that the mere analysis of the facts and data in today's case is not enough reliable principle and methods to testify as far as your conclusion is drawn.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, you may lay for the foundation.
Well, what this witness has laid proper principles and methods, as they have stated their prior history, the creation of their scientific articles, the culmination of every affidavit and deposition they used to review, and all of the exhibits that they've reviewed, and culminated it into one report. And that is the principles and methods that they based their conclusion on in today's case, which, as opposing counsel used as the principles and methods for their witness, for their expert witness.
Mr. Boyce?
I would stand by my objection that we have already established that the mere analysis of the facts and data of today's case, including any exhibits or any affidavits, is not enough of a reliable principle and methods used to reach a conclusion.
I'm afraid, I do remember you just a few minutes ago saying that just merely reading the affidavits and reports are not enough, and she actually has to state her methods and processes. And I believe Mr. May is correct on that point. So do you wish the opportunity to lay further foundation regarding her methods and processes and how they are reliable?
Now, Doctor, what methods did you use when formulating your conclusion in today's case?
My uses of outside experience and my own personal experience. From 2004 to 2015, I studied in Tanzania at a national park working with behavioral analysis on primates. So I know primates.
So you would say that you have extensive knowledge on primates?
Yes, I do.
And did you use that knowledge when formulating your conclusion?
Yes, and I've also worked on the defense side for 6 cases, none of which went to trial, but I know them inside and out.
And is the creation of an expert report standard in your field?
Yes, that is the standard. I've reviewed the affidavits. I accumulated it all into one report, which is the standard in my field.
Now, doctor, could you please tell the jury what your conclusion is?
I would once again like to renew my objection. We're again going in circles here. It's the same thing of just analyzing the affidavits in today's case. Despite whatever personal knowledge the witness may have, that does not equal an expert opinion, and we have not verified that the reliable principles and methods of the field have been applied to today's case, the facts, and the analyzing the facts of today's case.
Mr. May?
Your Honor, this witness has significant experience working in Tanzania with primates, has multiple published articles that relate to today's case, similar to what Dr. Hawkins had, and has applied all of that into one methodology that is creating a report that states their conclusion and how they reached their conclusion for today's case, which, as my witness said, is standard in the field.
Mr. Boyce?
Again, would like to renew my objection where we were just analyzing the affidavit using personal knowledge to reach a conclusion of that, which is established is not enough of reliable principle.
I believe the witness did state that it is standard in the field to review the facts and write a report, so I believe that is sufficient. The objection is overruled.
I would also like to add to the objection that the mere fact that you've worked with animals is not enough to say that you've trained them for television, and that the correlation is, I've got to say the correlation between the two.
Yeah, I did notice that, but did state that the reviewing evidence and preparing report is standard in the field.
Now, Dr. Miller, would you mind telling the jury what exactly your conclusion is in this case?
The conclusion is that Danny Kozak's decision to bring Elias the chimpanzee onto the set of Midlands After Dark is reasonable for a multitude of reasons.
Now, you say that Mr. Kozak's decision to bring Elias to Midland's television studio was reasonable. How can you say this?
Well, Danny Kozak provided MTS with a set of safety guidelines, and Danny Kozak has properly trained Elias, and if Midlands had followed the safety guideline report, then I don't believe this incident would have occurred.
Now, would you recognize a copy of those guidelines?
Yes, I would.
Your Honor, I have a copy of Exhibit 23. Shown opposing counsel. Permission to approach?
Right.
Does Your Honor have a copy?
Yes.
Now, Doctor, what did I just hand you?
This is a copy of the safety guidelines provided to MTS by Danny Kozak.
Did you review this when making your conclusion?
Yes, I reviewed this as well as a few other exhibits.
Doctor, did MTS follow all of these guidelines?
They did not follow point 1, 2, and 4.
Now, I'd like to break down those points. The first one, how did MTS not adhere to this?
Point 1 states that no other animal should be present. In Alex Gray's deposition, he mentions that there sometimes is a cat present on set, and Jameson Clark mentions owning 2 cats. The presence of animal hair or the presence of an animal itself cannot be ruled out as a potential cause for Elias's reaction.
Now, Doctor, you also mentioned the second point. Can you explain how MTS didn't adhere to this?
Danny Kozak states here that they should have, everyone at MTS has to have their teeth brushed and their hands washed, which is important because chimps are very confused by the smell of food, especially the smell of chicken wings in this case, which is relevant because it could have caused Elias's violent reaction.
Now, Doctor, why exactly could chicken wings have triggered a reaction from Elias?
In the viral video mentioned before, in Danny Kozak's deposition, there's the viral video of him and Elias sharing food, and when given chicken wings, Elias runs away and does not share food with his trainer, showing that he has an acute affinity for the food.
And Doctor, lastly you mentioned the fourth bullet point. How did MTS not adhere to this?
Chimpanzees are supposed to be given 60 minutes to adapt to a new environment, which Danny Kozak asked for but was not given.
Permission to retrieve the document.
Amen.
Now, Doctor, I'd like to move on to the second portion of your conclusion. The idea that Mr. Kozak had properly trained Elias. How can you say this?
Danny, Elias the chimpanzee has been on set multiple times and is used to being in front of cameras. There's been no incidents reported of any violent reactions, and Danny Kozak has trained multiple wild animals before. There's nothing to say that he didn't properly train Elias.
Now, doctor, would you have done anything differently when training Elias that Mr. Kozak should have done?
No, there's nothing I believe that Danny Kozak could have done to prevent this incident.
Now, doctor, I'd like to move on to the last portion of your conclusion. What did you disagree with that was in Dr. Hawkins' report?
I disagreed with Dr. Hawkins' idea of that all male chimpanzees are stereotyped as aggressive alpha males, which is simply not true. Chimpanzees have distinct personalities just like humans do, so to stereotype that one is aggressive is just improper, especially because we were not allowed to speak or to personally meet Elias, as unfortunately he had to be put down. Neither Dr. Hawkins or I can personally definitively say what Elias' personality traits were.
Doctor, do you have any other disputes with Dr. Hawkins' report?
Dr. Hawkins also had issue with Danny Kozak's training schedule, which I found odd.
Now, what would you say is odd for Dr. Hawkins to have a dispute with Mr. Kozak's training schedule?
Well, Danny Kozak trained Elias on a continuous positive reinforcement training schedule, which is standard